Wow, that knifing video really took off. When I did a thing on it earlier in the week, or maybe even last week, I didn't think that was going to be a big deal at all. I just saw it as just another, story in the feed of one of many, many of those same type of attacks that go on every day. Blacks against, white people, usually women, children, older people. I mean, there are some against white men too, but they're usually like middle-aged. You never see someone going after someone like Hermes or Gypsy Crusader. You never see them going after guys like that, because they're mainly criminals of like opportunity. Something that looks easy. And they're not completely too discerning about things too. Like as far as the grape thing, they do a lot of old ladies. It's kind of weird too. Anytime I see a so-and-so woman was 77 years old, was raped inside her Glendale apartment. It's like, oh, black dude. You just know. Because they're the ones that kind of do that stuff. It's weird. I think it's just they just don't have it's having taste and abstract thought. If it is, then I understand why they can't work that out. But when I first talked about it, I didn't think it was anything, that knifing thing. It's just, I see that a lot. And I was surprised to see so many people I'm glad people call onto it. But and one of the big stories, one of the big questions is, why isn't mainstream media talking about this? Why are they hiding it? Because they know that the bear's been poked so many times that the poke might break the skin next time. And if it does, and something kicks off after we deal with the knifers, they know we're going to come after them. They know that. Journalists, the media, because they're all from another country. And now we're going to come dual citizenship at least. Now, when I say we're going to come after them, we're coming after them and giving them hugs. I'm for not non-aggression principle. I'm for a pro-hug principle. I think hugs are really what's going to bring the world together. And once we're done hugging on all the knife people, they know that, they're going to get hugged next. And they don't like to get hugged because they're not like, they're not huggy people, clearly. And also, they probably didn't get a lot of hugs, looking at some of those mugs. Yeah, I mean, they have every reason not to talk about it because, besides the thing I mentioned, they see those people as their soldiers doing the dirty, filthy, soulless, evil work that they can't do themselves. They just don't have the build for it. When you build like Woody Allen, it's hard to strike fear into the heart of Nordic legends. So they need the savages from the dark continent to do it. The same people. When you see this kind of senseless killing, it's like people are like, well, why? I can't believe it, because you're thinking about it with a white brain, with a white Western brain. These people are the same people that were there when explorers first found the place. Same guys. There's been no evolution. You can go to many parts of Africa and you still find tribes that are doing the same thing they were doing when they first discovered them. There's a page on Instagram called Our Traditional Tribe, which shows them eating monkeys and fucking just in loincloths and just living like they would live. The ones here don't do that because they've observed how civilized people live. And they kind of fit in. They try to fit in. They don't fit in, but they do their best. But it's the same people. And now I've heard people say stuff like, well, they're behind, like in a evolutionary way, like compared to the average regular first worlder. And I forget how many years. It's something crazy. It's like over 1 million years behind as far as being involved. But I would say there's no evidence that they're evolving, because they're the same way they were when the first explorers went there and said, holy shit, we had to warn everybody. Yeah, don't go there. These crazy onyx-skinned savages who they eat people and they're all this other. You don't want to go there. And our small-hatted friends said, oh, really? Maybe that's something we could use. So they're the frontline grunt guys that they use in their war against us. It's all comes down to God and Satan. The whole world's against white people now because they are the children of Adam and Eve, God's children. This is Satan's land. Satan currently has full spectrum dominance of this place. He's Lord of this world, as Black Sabbath says. Get your garage logo. And so of course he's going to set his world after us. Now, understand, I mean, you don't have to believe it. In fact, you don't even have to understand it. I really don't give a fuck. I'm just telling you. We're all from separate lines. Okay? Now, I look at Nia. And I love Nia. She's great. She's the best. Wouldn't be here talking to you if not for Nia. But I can just glance at her and know we don't come from the same factory. Oh, it's just skin color. No, it's not skin color. She's physically different. Her facial situation, her eyes, we're not from the same womb. I don't know the whole deal with Asians. I haven't looked too deeply into it. I know that everybody from that are different ethnicities, even though they tell us these things don't exist, it's all social construct. What a load of horseshit. That's the same thing as when they say, don't believe your lying eyes. Like, oh yeah, the world is spinning 1,000,000 miles an hour, hurling through space, and you go outside and you don't feel anything. I know you can't tell anything, but don't trust your eyes and senses. Listen to us, we're telling you. It's the same kind of thing. Like, there's a difference between people just like glancing at them. Never mind going into physiology or the brain or any of the anatomy. You could tell just by glancing. We're not from the same factory. And the Indians aren't from the same factory as the Asians. The Latinos aren't from the same factory as blacks. It's fucking evident. But, they have the don't trust your lying eyes policy. And people get hypnotized by it because it's programming. The way it's programmed in is because they say it over and over and over and over, like a mantra, over and over and over. America's a melting pot. It's built on immigrants. Immigrants built this country. None of that's true. None of that's true. And then the evil that runs this world put that transgender statue in the middle of the fucking bay there. It used to be on with Ellis Island. Now it's on something called Liberty Island. It didn't move. It's just that reality changed. But it's basically Lucifer in a dress saying, basically, give us all your shittiest people. Even though the saying supposedly, but give us your tired, you're poor, you're weak. We're basically saying, give us the people you don't want or you want to get rid of. We'll take them. Who would do that? Who would put a statue like that and put an ideal like that out into the world? You know who would do that? Your fucking enemy. Your enemy would do that. He would put that idea out into the world, and he would put a beacon there, welcoming the worst of the worst. I was watching the old Sterling's channel today. He's doing a tier of psyops, and he brought up a good point, or someone did. So one of his viewers, about the immigration thing that happened. COVID was a perfect time to start shipping all these people in. It happened here because we couldn't see the masses coming in because no one could go outside, you know. So they were able to do it like undercover. I see a Muslim woman over there. No, they get really mad about the filming. I've seen them videos go up to people and, you can't take my picture. Because where they come from, you can't do anything. And they think, I guess, that their laws travel with them. I would have no problem telling them to suck the fattest part of my dick. You know, I'm a Christian. Fuck away from me. But yeah, so I saw all them keeping me. Now I'm in my garage over here, so if Wilma's Bonnet wants to come in here and start yelling at me about taking her picture, don't take my picture. Like anyone fucking wants your picture. You fucking nut. All the people, there's a lot of street mutants like that too. It's always the people that you would never want to take a picture of. Not a hot chick, not a guy with cool clothes on, not someone dressed up like a character or something out on the strip. Like, it's always like, what? I didn't know you were here. What are you talking about? Take your picture. What do they think you're going to do with it? Just get my picture now. But yeah, people from different parts of the world do that. But I'm in a tourist area here. That's why I'm always blown away when I get that static from people. You know, because it's like, dude, but something tells me you're not following the Japanese people around, you know, with them. I don't know, something just tells me that. But since everyone is hypnotized and positioned to hate whites, every other group of people could do something and the white does it and gets yelled at because they know whites up until this point have been giant pussies. And we don't want to be called intolerable. We don't want to be called racist. So we let people do whatever the fuck they want for a very long time. Especially the blacks. That's why the younger black guys are like, they just fucking do whatever they want. They're just white people. They think we're big giant pussies. Because we've always kind of skirted them because we're afraid of the social pressures that our own people fucking put on us. And a lot of white people are blamed for this because even though Jews hold the positions of power in anything, any kind of thing, I was going to say media, but they hold the cards and everything. There's still a lot of white idiots that are hypnotized by them under their Kabbalah spell crap. And they say, like, don't be racist. You MAGA, right? They're going to go too. Like, after we hug the knifers and the media and all those fucking journalists get hugs, those people are getting hugs too. Oh yeah, this is we really need to hug everybody. If we're gonna do an inch, we gotta do 10 miles. You know, because they've gotten to this point. Don't leave anything to chance. Get them all with nice warm hugs. You know, let them know you love them. James Gunn, director of Superman, has a new show on HBO called Peacemaker. Takes place in the DC universe, and I've been watching it. I watched the first season. I understand all the criticisms with James Gunn. He seems like a bit of a weirdo, and but I understand the criticisms, but I still like it and I still watch. Well, last week he introduced this new dimension that the main character finds himself in. It's an alternate version of Earth, right? And everything is awesome, clean, safe, friendly. Everybody's happy. American cars cruise up and down the street. It has kind of a 50s vibe in it, and also a little bit of an 80s vibe. It looks like paradise. It's paradise. Well, the twist is, in the next episode or the episode after, I guess he's going to reveal that is the white supremacist world. Because the main character, Peacemaker, in our universe, in the regular DC universe, he ended up killing his father. His father was a guy named the White Dragon, who was a crazy white supremacist guy. And Peacemaker ends up killing him. He goes to this dimension. His father's really nice. Everybody's really happy and really cool. And Peacemaker's loving it. And he's thinking about leaving this dimension and moving there completely. After he accidentally killed that version of himself. It was an accident. So, the world is beautiful. Everything's perfect. So if he does indeed reveal that's the Nazi world, although it's supremacist, because there's no blacks in the background, there's no any other kind of people except white. I didn't notice this at first. I was just thinking to myself, wow, this place is awesome. This is way better. You know, my brain noticed, but I didn't. I was like, wow, that looks like a safe place. Everything's so clean. Wow, this is awesome. What kind of message is he trying to give here? I'm interested to see how this pans out, because is what he's saying, yeah, we could have this beautiful, perfect world, but we don't want to be racist, right? So instead, we'd rather have our neighborhood look like Marrakesh, with dangerous people wandering around. Everything's dirty. Everything sucks. You can't take your kids out anywhere. It's a nightmare. Like, you know, how a lot of cities are now. And burbs. So is he saying, like, it's better that way? Because then at least we're not racist? Well, good thing we made it back to the regular universe where everything fucking sucks. Oh, and on top of it, everyone's trying to erase you. How's he going to spin that fucking thing? How's he going to make that work? Like what fool would say, yeah, it's no good, even though the world's perfect, still, you know, it's not good to be mean to people. We have to allow the men to take over and kill you and take your spaces and shit on your fucking neighborhoods and just destroy everything. That's better, right? That's better. Really curious to see how he does it. Now, of course, he's a lefty fucking weirdo. He already did something kind of like that in the Superman movie. He did originally I think it was supposed to be a Ukraine, Russia allegory, but in production, the Gaza thing kicked off. So it read like more of a Gaza thing, where there was a guy of the country that's supposed to be Israel that was clearly like a Netanyahu guy, except he had longer, crazier hair. And they end up killing him. And, you know, the sort of Stone Age country they're defeating next door is just Palestine, you know. I don't know. I don't really care about that whole conflict. So to me, it didn't make me mad either way. I don't make a lot of people mad. But, you know, I don't, I think I'd rather have the Israel side be defeated, because it wouldn't be that hard to deal with the Muslims. That'd be a lot easier to take down. So in that war, I mean, it would never happen. No way Palestine is fighting. And in fact, there isn't even a war going on. They're basically just going into Gaza and ethnic cleansing in there right now. But to call it a war is to, like, what they call, it would be to call Ukraine a war. Ukraine is a couple giant fields where they keep sending troops so that they can be picked off by, help me, what are those fucking things? Those things that fly in the drones, thank you. To be picked up by drones, and then the pictures can be uploaded to Pol every day by Jews in fucking Jerusalem. That's all it is. You never see them taking a bridge. You never see them going into a town. You never see any kind of war thing. You see one guy by himself running around in the field, and he gets gunned down or blown up. That's all it is. It's a show. It's a fake thing. And then you see the people in Ukraine, and, you know, there's a lot of Ukrainian YouTubers, and always going on about the trouble their country's going through and all this. But they haven't fucking missed an upload once. And they get the benefit of the algorithm bumping them up because of the Ukraine thing. And nobody's losing power over there. They don't seem to be going through any kind of fucking situation at all. War. Yeah, where's the war? I don't know. It's happening, like, out near the front line. Oh, okay. You've been out there? No, because they're fighting out there. Oh, okay. It's a theater. The theater of war. There are 2 large outdoor areas, maybe 3. And they just film 1 to 2 guys getting blown up by drones. And that's it. That's your war. That's your war. Zelensky wants to keep it going because if they got their funding cut, it would expose the whole grift. And the grift are being done by the small hats because Zelensky's one of them. They want to take, they want this whole thing to keep going. Now, I'm sure Trump knows he's being played, of course, or maybe he comes across like he's smart. I think he has good advisors. I don't know. I don't know what to think about him. I know he's a Jesuit. He was trained by a 33rd level Mason, Freemason, his whole life since he was a kid. Saturn worshiper. His penthouse in New York looks to Saturn like my condo looks like to fucking Batman. It's just a shrine, So he knows what's going on. I mean, he works for them. But I don't think they want the larger country to find out what's really going on there. And we had a guy that went up. We had a guy. I didn't have anybody. There was a guy that I was following online that at the very beginning went out there. And I found him through the Quantum of Conscience page, Matt's page, when I used to go there. And yeah, I know he's a controlled chill guy. He's a McKinley. I get that. But there's still a lot of cool stuff that I got from there. One of them was this guy who Matt totally disowned, he didn't know anything about this guy after. But it was one of his viewers who kept a blog about going out to Ukraine when the war kicked off to see what was going on. And I was following it, reading his stuff, looking at his videos. And what he showed and what he described when he arrived at Kiev, I guess, that's whatever the main city is where they fly into at that point, was a movie set. You had cars all stacked together behind horses, wooden horses, a lot of wooden horses, a lot of lights, a lot of those big sound trucks, like a lot of stuff is made here for TV shows and movies and stuff. They do here quite a bit. Not so much since COVID. I've noticed where we used to have constantly, there was a movie being shot here, a TV show being filmed. I haven't seen much since COVID. A lot of things have changed since COVID. It's probably too dangerous now. But yeah, so I was recognizing some of the trucks that had the equipment like that. So they were definitely, they could have been saying they were for news reports or something. But that's kind of all it was. At the time, there was a lockdown. People couldn't go anywhere, so all the stores were closed. Conveniently, as this movie was being shot. So he's like, this is a fucking... I don't know what's going on here, but I need to go out where the war is kind of closer, where the war is happening. So he got on a train. No one was on because everyone was locked up, locked in, locked down. And he didn't see anything. Didn't see anything, didn't hear anything. He went out as far as he could before it shut. They only let you go so far on this line. With the lockdowns, it was even worse. So he didn't get to talk to many people either because they were all locked down. He said he saw nothing, heard nothing, certainly no fighting. And at the time they said that city Kiev was actively fighting. They were at war. There was the guys were flying out there, all this stuff, and he saw nothing but a movie set. What looked like a movie set. And that was it. All this stuff, okay, all these wars are fucking not real. No country is mad at another country. All the countries are the same. They're all friends. We get that one world government people are so afraid of. It's always been here. It's never not been here. Wars exist now. Why do you think the kind of wars exist that exist? Russia versus Ukraine. Now they want American troops to go into Gaza. And that's why Netanyahu's been on his fucking podcast tour, which is just embarrassing. And he's lying his ass up the whole time. Well, these younger people have a problem with Israel because they've been lied to. So how do you combat lies? With the truth. So I'm here to tell the truth. guy's a fucking war criminal. Anyway, they want, people like, yeah, he's only saying this because he wants white men to go fight in his war for him. He doesn't need white men. Who the hell else is going to do it? When was the last all-female brigade or all-black brigade, except in Hollywood movies, or all LGBT brigade? You need white guys, A lot of Latinos, though, too, have been in the military. But they don't really care about Latinos. They want the white guys dead. Why do they want the white guys dead specifically? Because they're God's children. And Satan, he can't win, he can't beat God, so his only job here, Satan's task here, until this comes to an end, until the road runs out, is to take down as many of God's children as he can, to get them away from God, as many as he can. As he goes down into the pit, he has tentacles whipping out everywhere. That's why it seems kind of bad and chaotic right now, and it seems like evil is in the pole position. There's so much bad shit going on, because he's just flailing his arms everywhere, trying to take down and grab anyone he can. So his mission is to just kill, destroy, maim, get his kids away from God before God returns here to collect them, or we vibrate out of here to meet with God, whatever the case. So yeah, he doesn't need white men to go fight a war for him that he has to win. There is no war. The only reason the war exists is to kill white men. No one's mad at each other. Nothing hangs in the balance. They want to kill more white men. And it works as a blood sacrifice. And it works to get rid of old world architecture that they don't like hanging around. But the last thing these wars have to do with is war. Actual countries fighting over each other for some kind of purpose. And none of them were. None of them were. Go fucking down through all of them. From the greatest war to war. None of them. All blood sacrifice. All architecture destruction. All killing of capable white men. More so now than ever. They're in a race to get rid of as many as we can. The Orthodox rabbis put pressure on Netanyahu years ago. Here's a picture. To get this whole project moving faster, because they want to see the Messiah return in their lifetime. They want to see Satan, He's promised them, 20,000 Goyim slaves each when the Messiah goes down. How do you make a deal with Satan? Anyway, it's so dumb, because if you know him, maybe it's something beyond that I don't understand. Maybe it's not what he's going to give them, because he's certainly not going to give them anything. Satan doesn't work like that. You got like these edgy fucking Satanists on fucking Instagram, girls and guys too, which is embarrassing. Like, they think like, I'm going to get a seat at the table with the devil. All my friends are going to be. You're not going to give me a seat at the fucking table. You're not going to see a table. You're just going to see a black abyss. And it's going to be very cold. Hell isn't being close to Satan. It's being away from God. But you don't realize that until you're there. Alright. I feel like I just yelled at you for 5 minutes. I'm sorry. I get all passionate about this shit. We're all going to make it, though. It's all going to be fine. You got Murdoch's back. It's a good sign. The bear has been poked one too many times. People are turning. I think the tide's turning. I don't know if anything will come of it. It has to have, the end has to come in some way. To the social thing. I don't know how. No idea. But it'll be interesting to watch. Till then, thanks for coming by. And don't blame the teacher, blame the school.